Well, there it is. We are back online live with Joel Felsenstein. Well, Steenstein. The Stein rhymes better for me. Um, but how are you today, Joel?
I'm good, thank you. How are you today?
I am good. I can't complain. Thank you, everybody, for being patient with me yesterday and bearing with me so that I can be available today. Um, so today we are episode 6, Joel. It's flown by, and you've become a LinkedIn Live junkie.
Yes, the slightly tamer version of the word junkie and the legal version as well.
Absolutely. Well, hey, thank you for joining me this afternoon. I'm looking forward to an interesting discussion. And we have, hey, good afternoon, Pietro Mosca. Good to have you on. Um, and we have, LinkedIn's live. We've got a few people on there. If you are watching now, dropping your questions for Joel into the comments this afternoon. Find out more about what is going on with RockstarX and Joel and what his vision is. So if you have any questions, hey, Zion, good to have you on as well, my friend. We may be seeing you a bit later on our LinkedIn audio live as well. So, and I think Joel might be joining us for that, perhaps. Welcome to episode 6. What is RockstarX all about? So, Joel, really, the limelight for this session is all over you, and it's all about what your vision is, where it all started, where it's going to go. So I'm just going to shut up and say hello, Joel. Introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about the RockstarX vision. And excuse the noises in the background while I eat.
Thank you. Yes, thank you, Mac. As for the question, where it's going, if I knew the answer to that, I would be making millions just by mind reading and seeing into the future. But as of what it is, I can tell you that. So, and I also can tell you how it started as well. So let's go where it started and then what it is, and not try and predict where it's going to go. So RockstarX really started when back in the end of 2019 when I got let go from my previous company that had come to an untimely end. If anyone wants to ask me about that, feel free. But we've got not very long to tell that story, and that is literally a page turner in itself. So that's an entirely new episode, maybe even a feature length movie. I mean. So yeah, it started at the back of 2019 when I had got let go, as I said, from my previous company, and the reason why it started was I had seen the corporate side of the world for the first time. I came from a education background, so I went from working in my dad's school to working in a corporate world, which is an extremely different world to the education world, and especially when it comes to neurodiverse people, the corporate world is a whole different animal, and takes no prisoners, especially if you're autistic like me and other people. And I thought at the end of that, right, I want to make it a slightly more pleasant animal for people on the spectrum, because we all should deserve a chance to realize and follow our dreams. I mean, that is the entire point of life, at least I think it is. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I certainly believe it's about following your dreams and creating your own experiences, and that's what really RockstarX is about: creating your own experiences, realizing your dreams and your full potential, and proving every single doubt wrong, essentially. In a nutshell.
Wow. And that is a very, very succinctly summarized, Joel, because it would have taken me probably about 10 minutes just to get around to that same message. And thank you for all of those of you who are watching and commenting. Much appreciate your presence this afternoon. We have got Zion, we've got Jacqueline, we've got a few other people that are coming up as LinkedIn users. But I'm sure that's just the technology and the software not translating you through. But thank you very much for joining us, and please throw in your questions and your comments, and we'll add them to the screen as you'll see, like we have now. So, Joel, you've succinctly mentioned about the fact that looking at people's uniqueness and being able to not exclude everybody, as unfortunately most corporates or most organizations do. And one of the research studies that we looked at a few months ago was because of the fact that people would rather avoid something because of the lack of experience or lack of knowledge, and therefore totally avoid taking somebody on who may be neurodiverse purely because of the lack of their own experience. And that's quite a sad situation, but it's also a clear picture of what's going on in the world, and that it's time for people to get educated about what they're missing out on because of the fact that they're just not up to speed about how to become more inclusive when it comes to neurodiverse individuals, and where that magic it's almost like having the key to the safe, but not knowing that the key is a key, and just looking at it like, what's this object in my hand? I don't understand. And the reality is, as I've experienced by working with you and various other neurodiverse people, is they bring an exciting flavor to the world. It's an opportunity to unlock so many new things, I think. So when it comes to RockstarX and your expectancy for the potential collaborations that RockstarX can do, what type of organizations would you love to work with in the near future, or maybe not too distant?
That's the same thing, Mac. Not too distant and near. Identical.
Well, depends on your perspective there, but go for it.
I would like to work with companies that from music, entertainment. I literally could go through the creative industries, but there are so many companies in that, and so many subdivisions of that. We could be here all night. And I would like to also offer collaboration with charities as well to get them to use us, encourage them to use our sensory paradise, wherever that may be. And I will be talking. I don't know whether he's here today. I can't see who's here and who's not. But the head of artist relations with the large banner behind me. see if there is anything that we can potentially work together. I mean, I'm already part of this amazing family behind me, and see if we can further that relationship at some point. So if Brian Stockard is watching this, message me afterwards. I mean, you have a number, so.
Or throw a comment in and we'll highlight it up on here just to know that you're there. So, I think there's a lot of opportunity from what we've spoken about throughout the series so far. And, at this stage, you've already made it clear that you are looking at partnering with people that can help the vision, but not only help the vision, but also potentially have their own ideas on what they can do for neurodiverse people, and therefore collaborate with RockstarX to make these, whether it be skills programs, or whether they be retreats or music events, or recruitment events, possible. It's just bringing together a collaboration of minds that are on the same wavelength and looking to accomplish the same things, and bringing those together. So, if you think that Joel has grabbed your attention through his streak of LinkedIn lives and loads of postings since he's taken LinkedIn and YouTube and Facebook by storm, then please, throw in the comments and say, yes, contact me, get in touch, or just throw your ideas into the comments, because there are a lot of opportunities that can come from starting a conversation. And I know one of the things that we've spoken about many times, Joel, is potential retreats for neurodiverse people. So tell us a little bit about that. Regardless of venue, what kind of retreats have you got in mind? What kind of things would you like to see, not only for people like yourself, but other people that I know your creative juices have already kind of been thinking about?
You may want to rephrase the last part ever so slightly. That people may get the wrong idea, but could you also repeat the question, Matt? Because there was loads of robot. It was dropouts, and therefore you sound like C3PO.
Apologies. So let me rephrase then. So my question was, can you share some of the visions of what you see your retreats encompassing? So, what kind of retreats, what are the outcomes that you're looking for? Just give people a little bit of a flavor, regardless of destination, obviously.
Yes, well, the retreats that I've had ideas of is largely based around the rock and roll fantasy camp based out in America. Don't know where it's based, don't know where it's going this year, but people are able to essentially hang with the stars, whoever's there. I mean, if you're a Slash fan and you've got I don't know, Axl Rose, you're out of luck. But essentially bring that kind of thing over to the UK and making it autistic friendly is one of the ideas which I have thought of. And if anyone knows how to contact the organisers of Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp, I'd love to hear from them and invite them to collaborate.
Well, hey, they say if you don't ask, you don't get. So, you got to put things out in the universe, otherwise they just don't come to fruition. So who knows? I know we've spoken about loads of other potential retreats looking at things like music therapy as an example.
Yeah.
And we've had a few people reach out saying that they know of music therapists or are music therapists themselves. So, if you know anybody who has dealt with, music therapy specifically for the neurodiverse, because what we're looking for is to make sure that this is inclusive, right? And we don't want, neurodiverse people being spoken at. We want them included in the process. And as Joel has previously shown, a lot of organizations are started because of a friend or a family member of somebody who's neurodiverse. But we really want to push for working with people that are already, excelling in life and have shown the possibilities that are neurodiverse themselves. So, both organizations that work with, but also organizations that have got leaders that are neurodiverse, so that we can show that the current 22% of autistic people that are in full-time employment, that shocking figure, that we can make a difference and a change to that. So I don't know what your thoughts are on that, Joel.
Sorry, what was that?
I said I don't know what your thoughts are on what I've just said.
My thoughts, Mac, are illustrated in one of my recent posts this week. I can't remember whether it was yesterday or the day before, when I posted a research from Universal Music about neurodiverse and companies and how, and these papers called Creative Differences. And I agree with that. These stats are shocking with that companies, some of them have no idea and have absolutely no plans to introduce any of the any accessibility for neurodiverse, and some companies just lump it in with disabilities, so they lump it together with accessibility, which is totally different. And that post, I wasn't expecting to hit the amount it's so far managed to go, but it certainly has made an impression on people. And when I read it, it resonated with me, and it's even more of a reason why we need to fill the creative industries with neurodiverse people.
Just realized I had the mute button on, but yes. And I just wanted to refer to a couple of comments quickly before I come back to you there, Joel. Devin has commented that I also work with folks in the entertainment industry as an English communication skills coach for non-English speakers. And I wonder if there's an overlap. And I think, at the end of the day, that is a good potential, because at the end of the day, it's just a different language, a different style of communication. So 100%, Devin, get in touch, connect with Joel and myself, and let's see where that conversation may lead. Thank you so much for sharing. And then on what you were saying earlier, Joel, Jacqueline was saying that she loves the idea of retreats and a great way to build community, network, and collaborate. And I'm not aware of, and please correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm still learning at a rapid pace. But when it comes to networking and collaboration opportunities for people that are neurodiverse, I believe there's a great opportunity for that. And if you know of anything that we don't know of, whether it's happening in your city or your town, please introduce us, because we want to learn more about what's being done out there to bring these communities together, and also to be able to enhance what is being done already and learn from what is working or what's not working, so that we can improve that on a not only a local basis but an international basis as well. And we've got somebody that you may have heard of before, Joel, who's commented, "You're a disruptor to make change in this space, my friend. So exciting." And Joseph, thank you so much for the shout out there, and also being part of Joel's incredible team. And I know we are going to be talking about that on one of the future sessions. So talk to me about what's been happening over, let's do a quick review, like over the last, let's say a couple of months, what you've learned on your journey so far building RockstarX. What are the things that you're excited about? What are the things you're surprised about?
Well, I've learned that no one has done it, and that's quite a shocking. I find it quite shocking that no one has thought about this, or maybe they have, but they didn't want to do anything with it, or didn't know how to do anything with it, should I say? And I'm also surprised in a good way, of course, how many people are on board with it, including several businesses, well, banks, Max Frozen, and how people have responded to it is.
It has been amazing that where people have come out of, and some of the comments and some of the support that has come out from literally all over the world. It's been really exciting to watch. And I've been watching Joel's growth and just your presence on LinkedIn as an example, and showing how so many people have been reaching out and wanting to support and also give advice, which is incredible. So I'm looking forward to seeing where this will go, because as you said, you can't predict the future, and I think we have no idea how big this is going to be. So I'm really looking forward to hearing what other people want to contribute to this. And this is not just an opportunity, and I want to make that clear. This is not just Joel's journey. This is Joel's journey for all of neurodiverse individuals globally, and that's exciting. So it's about that joint venture of getting together and seeing how we can all impact and make a difference in the world. And Joel, you've taken that bold step, and it's interesting because having the vision, but also not quite knowing where that's going to take you, whose paths you're going to cross with, or what that might look like. For a lot of people, that's, and especially somebody, if you look at the what do they call it? The way people class people with autism generally would say that actually, this wouldn't happen because there's too much change, there's too much unknown, too much uncertainty. So, if you know how all those things, I look at my brother-in-law as an example where there has to be a lot of consistency. You've got to know what the patterns are, all those kind of things. And you're stepping into so much of the unknown that, that's quite a big thing for somebody with autism. But at the end of the day, you're not sticking to the stigma. You're showing that there's so much possibility out there. And I want to applaud you for taking that risk and that courage to step out and just go, I don't have a clue what's going to happen next. Let's just do it. And that's really, really exciting. So I kind of want to ask you, how does that feel for you right now, knowing that you've stepped in as the visionary for neurodiverse people? No pressure, by the way.
No words. There's not a single word, and that's a shock even for me.
It's surprising. I've never seen you speechless.
Bound to happen. But I don't know how it feels. All I know is I'm changing. I want to change people's views and help as many possible. I don't do it for the recognition or what other people do it for the wrong reasons. I do it because I want to do it.
And it's interesting to see how you're always 2 or 3 steps ahead of thinking of the next thing. And you've had exciting things happen in the last few weeks. You've officially incorporated as RockstarX Limited now here in the UK, and you've got a team of incredible people, which we're going to be doing an episode on. You've managed to connect with so many organizations and individuals that are, whether they're neurodiverse or not, but you've made an impact, and that's an exciting thing. So I want to kind of wrap up with what type of people you would like to connect with next, because I know you're like a super connector at the moment and you're networking off the platform, online and offline, at a serious rate. So what would you suggest with regards to who you would really like to connect with next? Let people know.
I'd love to connect with people who can help make the vision possible, from just an online presence to 3-dimensional without the screen. So we can know what we look like, and we don't have to make a cardboard and hold it up to. Is that you?
Absolutely,
and
it is.
And also there are people that like Nick Stewart, who can potentially help with those kind of backgrounds.
Absolutely. So you're looking at people that want to invest into helping neurodiverse people. You're looking at people who want to look at helping potentially invest or support or sponsor some of these events that you want to put on. You're looking at other neurodiverse organizations to look at some of the events that they already do that we can collaborate with and bring to more people. And then you're looking at individuals that are neurodiverse that want that help or can see, some of the challenges that are out there that they feel they can help change. So, that is an exciting, but a huge responsibility to take on as well. So I'm excited to see where that goes. So I'd love to get people that are, if you're watching now, just to drop in a little comment as to, why you're watching this, what brought you to this video today, what would you like to see different when it comes to, some of the resources or some of the support for people that are, under the, as we categorize them now, and things change over years, as neurodiverse. So, for people like Joel that has autism, or people like myself that has dyslexia, and apparently I might have ADHD, but I'm too scared to go and get another classification or another label. But I have family members that are autistic and have ADHD and various other labels, and it's about how do we help each other really as we discussed on some of the previous episode, enable our environments to support us better. So, Joel, what are you thinking? I can see the cogs turning there.
The cogs are always turning, Mac. They are always turning. That's probably why I don't sleep until very late. But they are always turning, and I'm always looking, exploring at other ways as to what we could do as a organization and now a official entity in the UK. Maybe we can also have a landing strip for the planes that are currently coming out of your system, Mac.
The planes that are coming out of my system.
Yes, the noise, you know.
Interesting. I have a feeling it might be a neighbor drilling next door. So the joys.
But yes, we want to be what companies so far have failed to be, and we want to be anything but faceless. And when we say we want to listen to our audience and customers, we actually mean it. Unlike most of them who listen and then do what they want anyway.
That's a potential can of worms that you might be opening over there.
They know who they are. I'm not mentioning any names.
It's interesting. We were discussing this previously, and you know, both on and offline, about a lot of organizations that you know, it's another potential tick box. And you know, and I find this, you know, regardless of whether it be, you know, neurodiverse space, but with my background in security and health and safety, how many organizations have got that health and safety check, but whether they practice that on a daily basis is a totally different story. So you know, don't go for the stamp, go for the way of life, should I say.
Yes, they don't. I think most of them say they do, when if you ask any employee behind the closed doors, no, they don't. And especially with one company, won't mention names.
No.
That one of the employees a long time ago spoke to me and actually told me that they have a neurodiverse program inside the company to bring in people, or it's meant to bring in from the outside people in the neurodiverse, but they end up doing it internally.
Yeah. So you know, I think there's a lot of building, construction, and repair work that needs to be done within the space, and I look forward to being on this journey with you, Joel. And thank you very much for being that disruptor and that forward-thinking person that's willing to take the battering, because it's like anything else. It's not something that you're going to do without resistance. It's not something that you're going to do without. It's not going to be an easy path. And the reality is, there's a lot of disruption to be done and a lot of education to be done around the space. And you know, I look at people from different cultures, different sexual orientation, different color, you know, even different dietary backgrounds. And I know how much slack my daughter got when she became vegan, you know, 5 years ago. And you know, the world is filled with people who just don't understand somebody that's different. And you know, this means we have a lot of work ahead. And the fact that we still, you know, globally are still fighting religious differences, color differences, sexual orientation, all those kind of things, and neurodiverse differences is just, you know, we're supposed to be an intelligent life source, or life, you know, an intelligent being, but it seems that we still have so much to learn and to grow globally.
Indeed. And if governments and governments stop spending so much money on crap and effectively schoolboy arguments on a bigger playing field and trying to assert their dominance like you would expect in a high school or an elementary school when you say I'm the big man, meet this, like if you're if you're spending that much time and energy on fighting war, spend it more on fighting the right ones, and the right one right now is the neurodiverse.
Absolutely, and I think before I go too far, because
that is free because you don't need to spend anything on firearms and stuff. It's free.
Well, I think people can. There's a lot of discussion around that, and there's a lot of opinions on that. But I'm going to wrap up today because we've still got 2 more sessions and loads of other discussions to have post our mini series.
Yes.
Because I don't believe our mini series will be the end of it. In fact, I think it's just the beginning. Plus the fact that, as we've noticed, Joel has brought his can opener to the discussion today, and he is definitely opening lots of cans of worms that will need to be faced. Joel, I just love the fact that you're not afraid to speak your mind. I'm just afraid, of the interesting battles we are going to face as we move forward, but I look forward to battling those with you, my friend.
Can't be much less eventful as the ones I end up playing on PlayStation.
Well, hey, absolutely, and I'm seeing lots of we're getting comments from Joseph. He's in the that's a war to fight. Absolutely. We've got
let's read the comments.
We've got keep opening those cans, Joel. Oh dear, thanks, Jacqueline. We've got Zion. Companies should know that what matters is what you can really do and what you can offer, not what's on paper. Oh, I think Joel will 100% agree with you, and so do I. Awesome stuff. What else do we have over there?
21.
Let's have a look over here. With more awareness, we can be able to reach a lot of people. A beautiful global vision. Thanks, Zion. And so many more comments coming through. So, folks, thank you so much for joining us today. And I want to wish you an incredible weekend. And please watch out for this man, Joel. Go and follow his RockstarX page. Go and follow his profile. Reach out to him. He's always up for a chat. And look out for potential collaboration opportunities with RockstarX. Let's see where this discussion can go. But if you know of anybody who wants to collaborate, wants to make a difference, put them in touch, and let's see where those conversations may lead. Joel, thank you as always for your candor, openness, and directness, and your vision. And I look forward to our future discussions with you too, my friend.
So do I. And there'll be many more.
Absolutely. Excellent, folks. Well, thank you so much. Joel, can you play our little outro, and then we'll end the session for this afternoon. Thank you so much.